Well, 2022, what a wonderful year it has been, isn't it? If we have to talk about the 50 over format, we did witness the ODI World Cup this year and quite a few bilateral series as well, some wonderful performances. And now it's time to talk about the ODI Team of the Year. So in our special segment here, I'm going to take you through Women's CricZone's ODI Team of the Year. So let's get started. Let's start with the openers there, where we had quite a few names in our mind, with Sidra Amin there, who's had a very wonderful run with the bat for Pakistan, Susie Bates, Rachel Haynes, but we did go ahead there with Smriti Mandhana and Alyssa Healy. Well, Alyssa Healy will of course take up the wicket-keeping duties for the team as well. And we all know that when Alyssa Healy is at her best, is in her zone, she produces some wonderful performances. Who can forget the ODI World Cup final, isn't it? She also averaged 50 this year in this format. And speaking of Smriti Mandhana, she has 1 century and 6 half centuries to her account in this format, and so she's made it to our team. But it's now time to talk about the number 3 and number 4 slot, and we have Laura Wolfart and Meg Lannon there. We always keep talking that how important these positions are, because at times the batters have to anchor the innings and at times they have to play an attacking game, and both these batters are very much capable of doing that for their teams. Of course, we had Beth Mooney and Sophie as well in the competition here, who also can play the similar role for their teams. But we did go ahead here with Laura Wolfart and Meg Lannon. Meg Lannon, of course, we know that she's been doing that job for her team for very long now. Who will be our number 5, 6 and 7 there? Well, it's going to be Harmanpreet Kaur, Natalie Sivo and Marizanne Kapp. Let's talk about Harmanpreet Kaur there first. Well, Harmanpreet Kaur, we were talking about her form this year at the start of the year, of course, during the New Zealand series just ahead of the ODI World Cup. But in the ODI World Cup, we saw her hit that century against the West Indies. Smriti Mandhana also scored a century in that game. And also we cannot forget her performance in the ODI series against England in England. When Mithali Raj retired from international cricket, she also took up the responsibility of captaincy of the side, and as a captain and as a player, she's had a wonderful year. Next up, talking about Natalie Sivo, well, she's that player for the side who can change the fortunes of the game with the bat, with the ball. She's done that on so many occasions for England. Well, first of all, we cannot ever forget that ODI World Cup final against England, where she was that lone warrior who's trying to get the team to the finish line. Let's talk about Marizanne Kapp then. Well, the game changer, the X factor for South Africa. She has a lot of experience under her sleeves, and we've seen her brought that experience to the fore and win matches for South Africa, especially in the ODI World Cup. We saw her bring some really impactful performances for her team. When it comes to the all-rounders, of course, we also discussed about Hayley Matthews, Amelia Kerr there, and of course the New Zealand skipper Sophie as well. But there we went forward with Harmanpreet Kaur, Natalie Sivo and Marizanne Kapp in our team. It's now time to talk about the bowlers. Let's start with the spin department there. Quite a few names there as well. Rajeshwari Gaikwad, Jess Johnson, Charlie Dean, Sophie Ecclestone. But we did select Sophie Ecclestone and Charlie Dean in our team here. Sophie Ecclestone, she's a game changer. She's that reliable spinner that has always come forward with breakthroughs for England. Finished as the second highest wicket taker this year, and just below her at the number 3 position, it's Charlie Dean. Moving on to the Pacers, well, lot of names here. Kate Cross, Jess Kerr, Ayabunga Khaka, Shabnam Ismail, Renuka Singh Thakur. But our picks here were Renuka Singh Thakur and Shabnam Ismail. Renuka Singh Thakur made her debut for India this year. Ever since she's made her debut, she has shown a lot of promise. It's not always about the wickets, but it's also about the economy with which she's bowled. And that has impressed us a lot. And Shabnam Ismail, well, she's one of the best pacers in the circuit right now, probably. She has so much experience, and we always have seen her produce that special performances for her team. And Shabnam Ismail is, of course, our other pacer in our team. Well, this is our team, Women's CricZone's ODI Team of the Year, and no-brainer there. We have Meg Lannon, the World Cup winning captain, as the captain of our team as well here. So tell me, do you agree with our team? Do you see any changes here? Tell us your ODI Team of the Year in the comment section below. And for all the updates on women's cricket, you know what you have to do. You have to stay tuned to Women's CricZone.